Alright, so I'm going to be finishing up my PC, and I'm not wearing any static wrist strap, so I'm going to try to keep it as grounded of an environment as possible. I'm just going to touch my case with both hands once in a while. There's really no static around me. I even flipped the carpet upside down, so it's not the more soft surface, it's the underside of the carpet that I'm sitting on. So, I mean, even if I touch my leg hairs, I might generate some static, but I'm just going to be careful with all the components I'm touching. So, I'm not 100% believing it's a great idea, but I'm also not really into the idea of using a wrist strap to begin with. I did order one online from Amazon, so once my computer's been turned on and stuff and it's generated its own power, then I'll probably use a wrist strap in the future maybe, but everything's powered off obviously. There's no electricity running here, except obviously if I spark something, might. But I've already installed the chip and stuff, so I've already dealt with the most sensitive areas. I'm not going to be touching anything really, so yeah. First thing I wanted to figure out is I wanted to get the hard drive in. So again, I'm going to be careful about everything I'm doing as much as possible. But I think that'd be important to do with or without any kind of strap. Just can not touch any circuitry. And even if I wasn't generating static, I don't think I should be smudging it or getting my handprints or dirt onto any of the circuit boards. So I feel pretty comfortable with the direction I'm heading in terms of what I'm supposed to be doing from this point forward. So right now, I'm going to install the hard drive. I'm going to try to make it as viewer accessible as possible, but for the most part, I'm only recording anything I'm doing just as a side note. Like, my original intention was never to record this. It's just simply for building it. So anything I get out of this footage is a bonus. It's not really, maybe in the future I would record something now that I understand what I'm doing. But I'm still learning, so I'm not at that stage yet. So this is the back side. This is the hard drive installation station. And these are the holes, I think, where I will be installing it. So I see my connectors in the back. Maybe let's put it in the bottom ring. It looks like it wants me to elevate it slightly in order to connect these things. But I'm not sure if I'm supposed to hatch these sliders on first. Guessing the back side. Whoops. Because on these they lock from the outside, but maybe these ones lock from the inside. So I'm going to pop this on. I'm going to see exactly. Whoops. Actually, I think the tracks should be okay. The tracks should be over here. Okay, I see how this works. I did that wrong. If I have any trouble, I'm just going to refer to an online guide. But for now, I'm just going to try to wing it as much as possible. Well, actually, that's wrong for me to say. I should do the opposite. But this isn't. I've already done so much guidance online in terms of seeing what I'm supposed to do that sort of being slightly rebellious. What was my plan again? So needs to slide in. Okay. I think it's supposed to go this way. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm going to slide it in going this direction. I'm just going to see if it works. I don't see any tracks per se. Oh, okay. I think I get it. No. I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna reference an online guide real quick. Not sure if I'm supposed to clamp it from the outside. I'm gonna look really quick because I know I saw an online guide for this particular issue. Selling HDD Smilodon. Yeah, this is the one I saw before. Unfortunately, my MacBook is just garbage right now, so I'm gonna flip this. It's my notebook, and I'm gonna use my MacBook to power up the camera. This MacBook is like 7 years old. Oh no, there's no switches on that side. I'm using a $300 netbook and 7-year-old MacBook here. And since my laptop broke, those have been my primary computers. Alright, so I'm going to try this again with this. So once I install that, I'm gonna move on to the, I already put the Blu-ray drive in. The Blu-ray drive's already in there. And I'm going to look at the Asus manual and make sure that I plug in these cables from the case incorrectly. Well, not the HD audio, but the power switch, the reset switch, and the power LED is actually going into a Molex cable. But I'll plug those little cables in. So basically, for every step of the way when you're doing this, especially even if you're working with a new case or you're doing this for the first time, you should reference an online guide or a book guide to make sure on every particular step you're doing it correctly. Okay, looks like I did that correctly. Just gonna make sure. Alright, so he's got track facing that side of the label.
This drive, as you can see, is held in this is a toolless design. There are no screws involved in this. These little tracks, as you can see, go along the sides of the hard drive. You just remove them slowly. Be careful with these because the parts are sharp. You can cut yourself on computer hardware. I've done it myself. I'm sure diagnostic purposes. Yep. I believe the rear, no, the first and the second, and these just clip in like that. You can hear that spring. Make sure these are facing the right way. If you have one of them facing the other way, you will also be embarrassed. Just push them in firmly. Watch your thumbs. Don't let your thumbs slide because these are sharp. And then you just align this in here. Make sure the runners are in there. Don't force anything. This should just slide in very, very easily. And these clips should, you should hear click, kind of like a springing sound, like this. Embarrassed, just push them in.
So I think I did that correctly.
Watch your thumbs. Don't let your thumbs slide because these are sharp. And then you just
Yeah, I was doing that right. There we go. I think this is right. Let's slide in. Just want to make sure it slides out. There we go. Sticking out a little bit. I don't want to force it in too far because I think I did that correctly, but I just want to make sure that I don't get anything stuck. I mean, it's very snug. I've got actually the little placeholder screw I can put back in. Sound card that I'm going to do later. Microsoft Windows 7. Yeah, that's in there. I'm just gonna put the little placeholder screw in. Yeah. That's in. And I mean, oh, there it is, clipped in. So that was the clicking sound he was talking about, and I did have the tracks on correctly. I just wanted to make sure I was in fact pushing this thing along the correct tracks, not doing something incorrectly. So that's good. So now I have the DVD player and the HDD installed. I have my power supply installed. I'm gonna install the motherboard. Not right now, but first, I'm gonna grab myself or something. Just gonna touch the case. I'm gonna, and it's also, the motherboard's in an anti-static wrap right now, so even though it's embedded in this case, it's sitting like in an anti-static like wrapping material. So I'm gonna see. I want to see before I put it in the case, kind of. I guess these cables are too short to even extend, so I'm gonna have to wait till I actually have it in the case. But I want to make sure that. All right. LED, reset, power switch, IDE LED, power LED. So I'm going to look in the manual real quickly and make sure that I'm putting these cables from the case in the right way, because it's the right manual. No. It's on warranty. Installing RAM, types of RAM that are compatible. Installing the processor chip. Components come with it. Connectors on the board, SATA connectors. Alright, here we go. The USB connectors. Oh, these are just the USB connectors. SATA connectors. 6 gig ports are in the front. SATA 3 connectors are the black ones, the gray one is SATA 6, so I'll plug the hard drive into the SATA 6 for sure. If I can, maybe I'll just put the Blu-ray in SATA 3. Fans, ATX, the motherboard connector, power switch. So basically, I know all of the stuff I know about this. I mean, I've always been around like a lot of computer people, but never really into these diagnostic stuff. But from watching these YouTube stuff and Easy PC Builder, they really highlighted everything you need to know broadly, and then you can look more specifically if you want to look in these books. But they give you basically all the most important foundational elements. It's like taking a quick course. Alright, IDE LED, power switch, and the positive. And this is good because my power LED cable goes into so HDD LED, power switch, reset switch. Is that what it means when it says ID? IDE LED. I'm not sure what that is. They are front facing, so basically, HDD LED, the same as IDE. This is exactly what I was trying to figure out, because on the side it says IDE LED and I'm trying to hook up an HDD LED. Okay, so we're good. It is in fact the same thing. I just want to make sure that I hook them up the right way. Positive to negative. Positive to negative. Power switch. Alright, I think that seems reasonable enough. And then I have the USB over here. And just as they described in that video, it blocks out the pin where they don't want you to plug it in. So you always plug it in correctly. And that's all well and good. So we get those 4 out of the way. Then I just noticed on the SATA data port, 6 gig is the one on the far left, which is the gray one on my Asus board. That's going to be the 6 gig port, and the ones on the right are the 3 gig. So you can just plug in the Blu-ray into the 3 gig and the hard drive into the 6. And the transfer rate of the cables is 5 megabytes per second on the cables that are provided with the Asus. Didn't even know they provide cases with it, or cables with it, but someone posted that online that motherboards usually come with those cables, and then I recognized that was true because I looked into it after I'd already ordered them online. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this thing, and then I'm gonna plug those cables in, and I'm gonna plug in the extra stuff. So I'm gonna turn the camera off for now until I finish installing it, because I'm wasting a lot of, I don't want to rush this. Well, I'll probably turn it back on, but I'm gonna save this. So get rid of these expansion slots, PCI expansion slots, to make room for my motherboard and to make room for my network, wireless network thing, adapter, and also make room for my sound card. So Most likely I'm just gonna have to take them all out. Yeah, the front one is where the sound, this is where the network card's gonna be. Then I think these two are gonna cover where the video card is. And then one of these over here is gonna be where the sound card is, but it's probably just best for me just to take all of them out, because I don't know if they're really that important. Alright, perfect. That's one gone. Oh, these come off really nice. Oh, this is making room for my expansion slots, and I'm doing this before I put the motherboard in, because I'm not sure how many slots are going to be filled exactly. Because I haven't opened my graphics card yet, so I'm not sure how much of its space it's going to take on the motherboard. I haven't opened the sound card either, but it looks quite big. It's probably going to take one slot. Well, obviously one. So I'm just trying to see where that lines up exactly, because maybe I shouldn't take out all of them if I don't have to. It's not going to be the last two. I'm going to take out the rest of the middle ones, because it's going to be too difficult once the motherboard's in for me to take these out afterwards. Ow. Just gonna take one more out. Alright, perfect. So I'm gonna put the motherboard in. I believe I have my expansion slots covered, I think. Just gonna get the cables out of the way. Ground myself. Move this stuff out of the way. Find my screwdriver. Get the screws that I need. Whoa. I just dropped the motherboard into the case, like it just fell because the fan that I was holding this unclipped from the motherboard, but it's because the guide I was looking at told me that I should be putting most of my pressure while holding the fan, but on this particular model, it's like the fan clips in, it doesn't screw in, so I felt like holding the fan was a bad idea in the first place, but I just dropped it. Nothing physically broke or damaged, so I think everything's fine. Didn't fall that far, but it looks pretty bad. But I don't see any physical damage, but hopefully nothing broke. But at least I get to sort of move on with the process now. Sort of like just get on with it. It's good to not be too careful and overthink things and be overly methodical because you could just drop something. And I don't think, like I said, nothing on the front of the case is damaged, but the fan did come off. But if everything works, then it's pretty awesome. If anything broke, it didn't flip up, it didn't land on the side of the circuitry. So whatever impact was taken, it all depends on how much the tension was distributed, reverberated through the case or through the motherboard front. I don't think anything broke. It was a little bit worrying seeing the fan in my hands from off of the top of the CPU. But the CPU was still in the latch, so that's a good thing. Oh my god, stupid little screw. Alright. I'm a little bit more embarrassed, but we'll see soon enough if there was any real damage done. Or maybe not soon even. See at some point. Motherfucker. Grounding. Put this one over here. I'm not even gonna bother trying to get that bottom screw in. Doesn't seem necessary. It seems like overkill. Yeah, this motherboard's not going anywhere. Maybe I'll get that one screw in. It was difficult getting the motherboard in though. Like, I had to maneuver it around stuff. Like, the hard drive is sticking out a lot, actually. This is a magnetic screwdriver, it'd be easier, but also be less safe. Yeah, I'm not gonna get that screw in. It's just way too inconveniently placed. I'm gonna go ahead and just charge both these things in. Not on tilts. I'm a little bit nervous after having dropped that. HDD LED, positive, negative. Positive, negative. Alright, let's plug it in. Alright, that's in. Power switch. That's in. Reset switch. Resets. It's hard as fuck. Alright, that's in. All the cables are in. I've got the remote connector for the power LED. I'm just gonna find. I'll do that when I'm doing the fans. I'll do the hard drive and the Blu-ray drive. Start off with these SATA connectors. There's two. Somehow able to maneuver that cable all the way around, plugging the hard drive, despite the fact that the switch is so inaccessible. But I got it. Well, I mean, inaccessible in its current layout. Alright, so here's that L. These cables are nice, they plug in real easy. Got the Blu-ray and the hard drive hooked up. These Molex cables are going to take care of the fans. And these cables are going to take care of the hard drive and the Blu-ray drive. So we'll just do that right away. I'll do this efficiently. So I'll do one cable for this. And I'll use this extended cable. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to use separate cables running the same power cable grid. Not sure if there's a rule about that. Maybe I'll use two separate ones. I'm not sure what the exact rule is on that. Let's see. That's the L1. That hooked it. Try to move this cable and tuck it into the CD-ROM bay. And I'm done with that. This cable management is going to be rough, but it's my first time. That's plugged in. That's plugged in. That's all hooked up. 100% hooked up. All right. That's where I'm at. God. Open the graphics card. I'm in a bit of a rush, not on tilt, but now that I dropped something, I'm kind of anxiously seeing if it's gonna work. God damn it. But it's also making me pace myself faster, so making this take like 2 weeks. I feel like the worst that could happen already happened. And trying to get tape off. There goes the tape. Graphics card. Play hard. Installation guide. Looks cool. It's pretty light. That'll be a lot heavier. Dang. So there's this slot. Yeah, so I have one of two options in terms of PCI Express, or sorry, VG. These are not PCI Express. PCI Express is like my sound card and my wireless card. This is alright. But I do have one or two options here. And whoa, that's stupid. Damn. Motherboard. Oh, okay. Let's say the motherboard's not perfectly aligning the expansion slots, but goddamn cable's running away. I'll try this one instead, actually. so I'm gonna try to make haste. That means that I did everything in basically an hour. It's pretty crazy for my first time. I looked through all the guides and stuff first, so I carefully I didn't really do it in under an hour because I spent like 10 hours really reviewing everything, making sure I knew exactly where everything went, and I was basically prepared to do it, but I never actually did it. So this past few days, it's been more like 3 days. It hasn't been 1 hour, but kind of what compelled me so much was that I dropped a stupid thing. There's no plastic covers, that's what I'm looking for. Make sure there's no plastic. So this isn't PCI Express, this is a normal PCI. Well, looks like I need to get this final one out, but it's probably better for airflow. Ground myself or whatever. This final component and not dropping it. I almost did. Just gonna make sure this is compatible because the bottom's a little bit weird. So here's pretty good cable management actually. Just installing all the fans. Hopefully it works because I dropped it. I mean the motherboard earlier, but pretty good cable management. Wait, let's close it up. The only problem is that I also got all the fans connected. The only problem is that the PCI wireless card didn't fit, and I couldn't get the cable for the front fan. Hooked up all the other fans, but couldn't find the cable for the front one. So I need to buy a new PCI wireless card. It's not a huge problem. Cable management turned out way better. I just better than I expected. I just
shove it all in the CD-ROM areas and stuff.